WrestleMania 41's final questions. I'm Will. That's Brandon. We're the cousins of Destruction Wrestling Podcast. As always, let's cheers. Talk about some wrestling.
Yeah, we did our WrestleMania 41 predictions video. If you haven't checked that out, make sure to go check that out. But as always, with the PLEs, and especially the biggest one of the year, we like to dive a little deep, play a little fantasy booking, so we're going to do that today.
Most of the card is set, which leaves us with only some final questions for each match going into it. But before we get into the podcast, let's make sure that we are doing a live stream this weekend for WrestleMania 41, youtube.com/@CodWrestlePod, where you guys can have a chance to win this replica title belt. We're doing a belt raffle, undisputed championship replica title. So join the live stream. It'll be a lot of fun. It'll be SmackDown as well. And try to win this thing. It'll be a lot of fun.
Yeah, not much more else to add. Some other things here and there. Just come on, stop on by, watch it with us. We've got a great community. We'd love to have you stop on by.
All right, enough of that crap. Let's get into it.
Now the fun stuff.
We kind of went through the card, wrote down a question or two for each match, or, the matches that people care about. There's no War Raiders questions on here. Sorry. We're going to start with Liv and Raquel, Lyra, Bayley. A lot of people are thinking that the Lyra and Bayley team isn't going to last very long in this here match. So what do we think is going to happen here? Will Bayley turn? Will Lyra turn out of nowhere? Which one of them's turning heel or costing the other the match?
Yeah, it's somebody from that team. Either one of those two is kind of really the only interesting thing, right? Either one I'm okay with, which is maybe not the correct answer. Maybe that's wrong. But I think for somebody like Lyra, that's a chance to somebody we don't really know what her character is, right? So you could kind of like establish that and have her, turn heel and be, I guess, the bad version of what she is now. But nobody knows what that is anyway. So why not just fresh start, take your ideas and go with it? Bayley, we've seen before. Mm-hmm. We kind of just had that one recently, like not too long ago, honestly, at the end of the day. So I would kind of pick Lyra just because it's more of an unknown and more of like, hey, I don't know who she is now, but it's a real chance to establish that right off the bat. That's the route I'd go.
Yeah, I think no matter what, we leave WrestleMania with Bayley versus Lyra for the IC title being our feud leaving it. And I think the easy answer is Bayley turning heel, and that's what everybody's expecting. But the thing is, we kind of just recently saw that whole thing happen with over the last year and a half or so. She went from heel back to face, and so turning her back heel, pivoting right away seems too obvious. I would personally really like to see Lyra do it because I'm with you. I don't think that she has really established any sort of real character on the main card. I mean, she's an absolute workhorse and amazing in the ring, but I don't know, give her a shot here. Just turn her heel at the start of her, this new year after WrestleMania 41. She can keep that IC belt on her, and maybe we get something interesting out of her. Screw it. The IC title hasn't been booked well at all. This would be a nice spin. Mm-hmm. So let's do it.
Yeah. You'd at least get a story kind of right out of it. And at the same time, it's probably a little bit easier for her. I mean, you can be that heel, and it's, for most people, at least I should say, it's easier than being a face, the over-the-top baby face. So she could at least lean into it. I feel like there's more face women on the Raw side anyway, typically. So you could look at that and be like, yeah, you know what? There's some more feuds that could set up out of that.
Agreed. Speaking of heel turns, Naomi's taking on Jade, which is going to be a spectacular match here. But, there's a lot of stuff just floating around this match as is. So I want to ask, will Bianca get involved in this match this weekend?
I'm going to say no on this one. I think Bianca has kind of separated herself from that. I know she's kind of brought it up here and there, especially to Rhea, like, hey, my friends are tearing each other apart. I've had to deal through that, go through that. So I think she kind of stays away. At least I would like it if she does, because her main objective, her main focus should be to win the title. She's in the WrestleMania match for the title. It's a triple threat. It's a big time deal. I know I wouldn't be getting sidetracked with anything else. That would be my main focus. Then whether win or lose, then I can revisit it after. Yeah,
I don't think Bianca's getting involved here. Even in her last promo vignette thing, she mentioned how, her mind was all clouded by the Jade, Naomi stuff that was happening, but she was able to power through and still be like the head honcho going into this title match, going into Mania. So it wouldn't make much sense at all for her to show up in it. Now, I still want her to be a part of the stuff later on after WrestleMania, but that's something we got to get to. But staying here in this match, it's one of those things that everybody's been talking about on their predictions and stuff, how when you come to this match, so many people pick Jade winning it, but it's hard to pick Jade because it feels like the Naomi heel turn would be so wasted if Naomi just loses right here at WrestleMania. So what would be next for Naomi if they were to have her lose here at WrestleMania?
Yeah, I think if she is to lose,
Yeah.
oh boy. Well, if she is to lose, another backstage attack on somebody. They just run it back. That would probably be the only thing, maybe. I don't really see a way, and that's why I kind of picked Naomi and went with her, because I feel like she does lose a lot of steam, and you have a lot of questions in terms of like what if at that point. I mean, I guess she would feud with Bianca if Bianca ends up losing, but at that point as well, you're also just like, well, you just lost, so all the credibility is kind of gone. So maybe she just takes some of the women's roster out backstage, I guess.
Yeah, I don't know what you'd have her do. I'm one of them who picked Jade, because I'm like, oh, it's Jade's first WrestleMania, no chance she can lose. But like, I don't know. Naomi is doing the better work out of the two of them, and that's not to discredit anything Jade's doing. It's just Naomi's doing that good of work to where it feels like we need to capitalize on this somehow. I think if she loses, it's not over, is what I would kind of say. We get more attacks backstage. We probably, wrangle in Bianca one way or another. No matter what, if Bianca wins the championship or not, I do think she gets lassoed back into this stuff. So either way, I think that if Naomi loses or wins, the story just continues with the two of them.
Yeah, I think it continues. You could theoretically way down the line, that could be a challenger against like Alexa Bliss, like, because there's rumors about Alexa getting a push after Mania, and Wyatt Six stuff is always turning your back on family, and Jade was maybe once considered family and stuff like that. So maybe you could do that, but then you're also booking yourself into another spot. It's almost the same thing. Like, 'cause Alexa should need the win, and Naomi should need the win at that point. So you're kind of just like,
Yeah, you Wyatt Six it.
Mm-hmm.
LA Knight, Jacob Fatu. Not much in question here, but there is one wild card if he isn't a part of the Randy Orton match, which may come. But is Solo going to get involved in this match? Are we going to have Solo costing Jacob Fatu the United States Championship at WrestleMania?
I would hope not. I hope that, for my sake at least, like when I watch WrestleMania, I like it to like kind of end and start new stories. I don't like the idea of like matches being bullet points throughout a story. Does that make sense? Kind of. So I want Fatu to win this on his own here. I want him to beat LA Knight. And then I want the Solo stuff and maybe like the backhanded compliments and stuff. I want that to kind of start after Fatu wins. I want Fatu to be like, I did something you couldn't do, sort of thing. And you really kind of get that dynamic after Fatu wins on his own.
Yeah, I hope we see none of the Bloodline 2.0 here. I know that we're probably due for a Tama Tonga Solo run out to, try to do the Bloodline stuff that always happens in Bloodline matches. But it just feels like, yes, we are going to get Solo versus Fatu down the line. Might as well just have it be for a belt. I don't know. Like, give Jacob Fatu the U.S. title and kind of have that be the reason that him and Solo really end up falling out. It just kind of writes itself there. And, it's always nice to have a good feud, which will be Solo versus Fatu. It's always nice to have a title wrapped up in it for guys that don't normally have titles. So it'd be cool to see. So I hope not is kind of my answer. Yeah. And if I had to pick yes or no, I don't think they will, because I think Solo will be involved in the Orton stuff at this point.
Yeah. Maybe Tama Tonga does, but like, and I've seen that kind of, that's maybe they cost him and then LA keeps the belt and they kind of feud without it. Like, the feud is going to be good enough to where like you don't necessarily need the title on it, but at the same time, like I don't really have any better options for the title. So it's just kind of like, well, let's just put two and two together here.
Exactly. We'll stick with guys running in. AJ, I don't want to talk about it too long. AJ Styles, Logan Paul. Everybody's got their opinions on this. What are we getting for run-ins here? Are we getting a Karrion Kross screwing over AJ Styles? Are we getting a prime bottle with somebody in it? I don't know who it would be this year. Maybe a Mr. Beast to be wild. We getting any sort of that type of shenanigans during that match?
I would assume we get some sort of shenanigans, because we always do with Logan Paul stuff. Maybe Karrion Kross is in the prime bottle. Maybe that's what it is. You know what? Let's just go with that.
Yeah.
We all kind of think Karrion's going to feud with AJ maybe after Mania. So yeah, why not just do that?
Yeah, I mean, Karrion Kross cut a amazing promo after his loss to AJ Styles this week on Raw, by the way. If you haven't seen that, even WWE Socials posted it on all their platforms. It's that good. It's really, really, really good. I would love for Karrion Kross to get involved with this, because I don't think you need to carry Logan Paul with AJ Styles anymore after this. I think that the feud that should come out of all this is Karrion Kross, AJ Styles in a proper feud. So if he wants to be part of the Prime Bottle, hell, Karrion Kross could make it work. Make it happen.
Yeah, the Prime Bottle's always been a joke.
Yeah.
It's a running joke, which, I mean, don't get me wrong, I do like it.
It's funny.
But what if he just pops that little top off and then it's Karrion Kross? Boom.
It's like a tatted up Prime Bottle. That'd be pretty funny. Intercontinental title match. The match I'm really looking forward to here. The thing is, Dom and Finn. Dom has wanted to add a member to the Judgment Day. Finn says, follow me, and good things happen. They haven't been seeing eye to eye for months at this point, really. Will Dom turn on Finn this weekend at WrestleMania? And if he does turn, will it be a face turn or will it be a heel turn?
Well, I don't know if... I'm going to say Dom does not turn on Finn. I think Dom just does what he thinks is best for the Judgment Day. I think that's how I'm going to go about this. Now, what's best for the Judgment Day is one of the two winning the titles, and that just so happens it's going to be Dom. So he's going to push that agenda still, doing what's best for the Judgment Day. I just want us all to be happy. We're one big family. On the flip side, I think you get Finn getting pissed off at that. I think you have Finn being very jealous, like, well, it should have been me, Dolph Ziggler type. And that's what we get out of it.
Yeah, I don't think we're going to get a turn necessarily. I think the moment might happen to where Finn's the one who's flat-backed, right? He might have just gotten speared off of, out of his shoes. And Dom just kind of takes advantage of the situation and ends up pinning him. So I don't think it's going to be a moment where, like, we get a Dom low blow to Finn or, like, an official moment where everybody's like, oh, my God, he did it. I just think that he's going to take advantage of the moment, play it smart, do what's best for Judgment Day, end up pinning Finn Balor and taking that IC title to new heights in the Judgment Day. And one more thing there, because we just kind of talked about it. Any chance we get a new Judgment Day member here at Mania? Maybe to come help Dom?
I'm going to say no. I don't know at this point who that would be. I know we were kind of against it as well. And even at points we're like, hey, maybe Dom should be out of the Judgment Day and be kind of on his own. He gets kicked out, right? But with what we just said, him doing what's best for the Judgment Day, like that doesn't really go hand in hand. So I would be fine with that just being the case. But maybe you flip the story to where Finn is like, hey, I got a new member for Judgment Day. And he gets whoever, I don't care who it is. But that new member just replaces Dom. So Dom gets kicked out. Finn's like, hey, I got that new member, just like you said. Maybe that's the route they go.
So you think it'd be a story plot down the line where Finn pulls it? That'd be kind of nice. I would like that. I do kind of think we're going to get a new Judgment Day member. I think that might be kind of how we fall into a Dom title win here. I don't think it's going to be at the expense of Finn Balor. I just think that there's going to be a moment where Dom does unveil it, whether it be Aleister Black or whoever it may be. And then Finn's just kind of like beside himself. So maybe that's how we get the moment happening where Finn gets flat backed and then Dom takes advantage of it. So I do think a big moment might be Judgment Day doing this thing.
Yeah, and I don't know. That's kind of the thing for me. Like the Aleister stuff has been on SmackDown stuff. So
good point.
It seems as if he's going to be on SmackDown. So then it's like, well, I don't know who you would get to, go on the Judgment Day side on Raw. So who knows? But it could be interesting. I'm sure there's something's going to happen. Whatever we think is going to happen is probably completely wrong.
Yeah, I mean, let's move it on. Damian Priest, Drew McIntyre. Good story. They made the most out of this type of match. I'm really looking forward to the Sin City match and all that good stuff. The only real question out of this is like, where do we go after this? Like, if Drew loses, where are we going? If Damian loses, where are we going? Does it even matter who loses this match?
I would say yes. If it's Damian that loses, I don't think that's really that big of a deal. But for Drew, I think it matters if Drew loses, because even though Drew's been able to get over the like whiny crybaby truth telling heel aspect of it, he has lost a lot. And if he keeps losing, eventually you're like, do the threats really mean anything? Because at the end of the day, we're going to get in the ring and I'm going to beat you. So if it's Drew, I would say it's a much bigger deal than Damian.
Yeah.
In terms of where do we go from here? I don't really know. I almost expect like a return or a call up of some sort for one of these two guys' next feuds. Like, I don't know who it could be. I don't know who that might like one of these two guys. I don't think their next feud is currently on SmackDown.
See, I think that it does matter. I think Drew has to win this match because I'm with you. I think that eventually, if Drew's just the amazing heel that loses every single match, that's going to wear out. It's going to wear me out as a Drew fan. I mean, that I might just be talking for myself there, but I do think Drew McIntyre is going to be placed. He's going to win. And he's going to be placed into whenever Cody Rhodes is back. I think that'd be a really good first feud to keep Cody away from the belt, assuming he wins or John Cena beats him. So you have Drew and Cody. Drew can bring up a lot of stuff about just kind of, you can say that he came to SmackDown to fight Cody because he already, came, face to face with him. And then he's like, and you still couldn't protect the belt long enough for me to even get to you. It kind of writes itself there. Damian Priest, you can kind of throw him anywhere. Mm-hmm. So I'm not too worried about him either. I don't think he'll be as high profile in 2025 as he was 2024 to 25, but I do think it matters who wins. I think Drew should win.
Yeah. I think we're just saying the same thing. Just
yeah.
different. Yeah, for sure.
Tiffany and Charlotte, it's kind of like the same thing here. Not a lot of questions. The easy question is, are they going to do it? Are they going to have Charlotte walk back in and win this thing? I'm more just interested in okay, so they do it. WWE establishes it. They have Charlotte come back, win the Royal Rumble, beat Tiffany Stratton in the main event of WrestleMania. What's next? What's next for Tiffany?
If they have her lose?
Yeah.
Oh, God. Well, I know for a fact Triple H being his the internet crowd's not real. Well, that not real internet crowd would lose their minds.
Yeah.
They would destroy her. And you'd probably see that on a weekly basis. And at that point, they would just hijack the show. Yeah. I feel like. What's next for Tiffany? For me, at least, what I want to see is I want to see Nia Jax. I want to see a proper feud with them. I would like to see them maybe run that at Backlash. That's something where Backlash is so short of a time frame after WrestleMania that you don't necessarily have a time to do a full on new challenger, new feud type of thing. So you could kind of go off that history there. Plus we haven't seen Nia in forever and I miss Nia. So that's probably the quick, easy answer of what I would do.
Yeah, I mean, if Tiffany loses, all hell breaks loose, right? I don't think the WWE Universe is going to trust the women's booking, especially because of how the women's booking this Mania season has gone. I mean, you gave us one good feud, which was the Jade Naomi stuff, but the Rhea, Iyo, Bianca stuff has been heavily criticized for the way they went about that. Liv Morgan didn't have a match till 8 days before WrestleMania. The hell you doing there? Neither of our freaking mid-card women's champions are having singles matches for the belts at WrestleMania. I mean, they're in a tough position when it comes to the women's booking. So I think if you have Charlotte walk in and beat Tiffany, you're just going to have a bunch of disgruntled fans who are absolutely done with how the women have been booked in the WWE. It's that simple. Mm-hmm. Jey versus Gunther, kind of like Tiff Charlotte. Not much talk about there. I will say, do you want to see Jimmy come back and get involved in this match, or should Jey kind of stand on his own 2 feet, beat Gunther clean by himself?
Yeah, I want Jey to do that by himself.
Yeah.
I think the promo he said, especially on Raw, about oh, well, you're scared, you're nervous, all this stuff. I had to call my mom and talk to my mom about my brother and all this. The promo work that Jey's done over the last couple of weeks has been really good. And that's the Jey I kind of wanted to see. The Yeet stuff's fun. Don't get me wrong. Everybody eats when you're there, especially. But that's the type of character I like to see. It really, really works for him. And he keeps talking about how he's 0-3 and he's never really beaten him. Well, I want him to have that moment. I feel like if Jey does it, am I still going to be excited for him and happy for him? Yes. But I think it would mean so much more if he does it on his own. And then Jimmy can maybe they all celebrate like they did with Cody. And then Big Jim's music hits and he walks out on crutches or something. Yep. Something like that. Give me that.
That's exactly what I was going to say. I want to see Jimmy come out right after Jey wins it in crutches and a neck brace and the whole nine, right? I want to see him yeeting with crutches. That'd be spectacular. Yeah. Don't have Jimmy come out here and help Jey Uso in any way, shape, or form. The entire story is the ultimate underdog story that we always get when it comes to Gunther's Mania matches. That's what needs to happen here. Jay's been talking that smack, saying that you're now scared of me. I'm ready to whoop your ass, all that good stuff. So let's do it clean. Let's do it with no help. Let's beat bad Gunther. Mm-hmm. Now the top ones, the ones with all the questions. I feel like Cody and Cena is probably the least interesting when it comes to the questions up in the air of these final 3 matches that we have on this card. So we'll start there. The only real question for the Cody Rhodes versus John Cena WrestleMania match is, will The Rock be there? Will he get involved?
Ooh, we've had no signs of that.
Yeah.
So part of me kind of wants to lean no. If I had to choose, I'm probably leaning no, because we haven't seen any signs, but it's a 60-40. I'm kind of on the fence. I'm kind of like, well, The Rock does just kind of show up whenever he wants, and he kind of just does whenever he wants. It is also night 2. It does make you think how they're going to kind of end this match, because John hasn't won a singles match just by himself in forever. I mean, yeah, I get it. He won the chamber and all that. I understand that. But you look at it and it's like, so he's just going to walk back in and just a one-on-one action. He's going to beat Cody Rhodes, the 2-time Royal Rumble winner, the guy that's held this belt forever. He's just going to do that by himself. And I mean, it is John Cena, so probably so. So I'm going to say no on The Rock. Am I confident? Also no.
I think he does. I think The Rock shows up. It's Las Vegas. It's not some random location whatsoever. It's one of the biggest places on earth, entertainment capital of the world for a lot of reasons. But I think you have to. I just think that we still haven't gotten an explanation for The Rock at all. He hasn't even been like really alluded to in much of their promos. Cody said his name one time, but like it's been a month and a half or whatever. It's been 2 months since Chamber. So I do think that we need to have The Rock on the biggest stage and be involved in this storyline that he sort of kicked off with the throat slash and telling Cena to do it. I mean, John sold his soul to The Rock. He didn't sell his soul to nothing. So I think that it's the main event of WrestleMania, night 2, 41, John Cena's last Mania. He's probably taking the belt off Cody Rhodes. You got to have The Rock in there as well. And if you want to throw Stone Cold Steve Austin in there as well, because it's rumored that he's going to be there, give me some shenanigans like that too.
Yeah, I mean, I think for me, I think my no is more of like a personal. I just want to see. I mean, we all, I think, assume John's going to win. I just want to see that at the end of the day. Yeah. But you're probably right. It is probably what happens. There is probably some shenanigans. It just kind of makes sense. But it also just like, as long as he doesn't cut a promo, I guess we're okay.
Yeah. It'd be a 9-hour show. It's already going to be a 9-hour show. Rhea, Bianca, Iyo. We could ask the simple questions, but we answered those in our predictions on who we think should win, right? Because that's who's going to win this thing. That's the real question. We talked about it a little bit earlier. Naomi, Bianca, they do bring each other up in their promos recently. No, they haven't interacted since the Elimination Chamber turn and all that stuff, but they are constantly saying each other's names. Is there any chance Naomi gets involved in the world title match? Could she help Bianca? Will that lead to a Bianca heel turn at this WrestleMania?
Yeah, I see a lot of people saying that like Naomi's going to interfere in this match and help Bianca some way, somehow. Man, I'm really back and forth on this one. I would like it if no was the answer. If I was like booking the match, I would say no, because I think that maybe kind of sours it a little bit. I think these are 3 of the top women in the industry and in WWE, and like I kind of just want to see the amazing triple threat. But you also kind of have to have some stories that come out of this. So like Rhea's obviously going to crash out. We know that story. Iyo, if she wins, she's the underdog champion that retained. What's kind of left for Bianca? So I think you maybe get something here, but I don't think it would lead to a Bianca win.
See, I'm opposite. I want it to be yes. I think that this storyline has been so dumb as is that, like, let's add a big old heel turn to it. I mean, I'm the guy who's been wanting Bianca to turn heel forever because I think she'd be phenomenal at it. Since Chamber, she's definitely leaning more into the attitude area of her character. And if you do have a full heel turn to convolute this story even more, like, screw it. Hell yeah, that sounds like fun to me. Yeah, I think it would take away from what should kind of be an Iyo Sky win, in my opinion. But, then we'd have really cool stories with Bianca, and it'd be the equivalent of a John Cena heel turn for the women, because she's always so closely talked about in that aspect of being like the face of the women, and she does all the Make-A-Wish stuff and all that. So it'd be really cool, and she'd keep her WrestleMania streak because of it, which would be another thing. And you could immediately have her feuding with like Jade, with Naomi in her corner and stuff. I just think there'd be a lot of cool storylines to come out of it. So do I think it's going to happen? Probably not. But do I want it to happen? Hell yeah. Last one, Roman Punk Rollins.
Ooh.
There's only one real question when it comes to this match. Who in the hell is Paul Heyman going to leave that match with? We got CM Punk being his best friend. We got Roman Reigns, who's always his tribal chief. And then we got Seth Rollins over here, who's just been spitting facts at Paul Heyman. Is there any chance Paul leaves with Seth?
When this theory first kind of came out and over the past couple of months, as you heard rumblings about this being a match and then being the main event of night 1, you're like, That didn't make any sense. I don't like that. Why would he do that? He's got Punk and he's got Roman. Well, now as time's kind of unfolded, I'm like, yeah, you know what? I don't know if Paul strictly sides with Seth, but I do think Paul's uncertainty with Punk and Roman on who to choose is what ultimately leads to Seth winning the match. I don't see at the end of night one, Paul Heyman and Seth Rollins. I don't see this. I don't see Seth Rollins stomping CM Punk while Paul Heyman stomps Roman Reigns. I don't see that happening. Now, would that be kind of cool? Yeah, that'd be awesome. So I'm going to say no, but I do think Paul's uncertainty with Punk and Roman, that's the storyline you get out of it. And that's kind of what the story is after this match.
Yeah, I don't think there's going to be a clear follower that Paul Heyman has. Like, he's not going to be walked out by either Punk or the Tribal Chief once the match is over. And I don't think he's going to be with Seth Rollins either. Now, Seth Rollins might win as a product of the Paul Heyman mess that's going to inevitably happen during the match between Roman Reigns and CM Punk. But one, Seth Rollins doesn't need Paul Heyman. He's phenomenal on a mic. I mean, they all are, but it just doesn't make any sense, in my opinion, for Seth Rollins to be there. But I'm with you. I do think that one of the more intriguing feuds that come out of this match will be Roman and Punk and the real battle over Paul Heyman. So I think that Paul Heyman leaves with nobody at this WrestleMania. He's kind of just left out here. Everybody that he loves has been destroyed in the ring. And that may even be Seth Rollins holding up or winning the match at the end of it. But no, I don't think Paul Heyman's going to leave with Seth Rollins.
Yeah, and it could be something as simple as like Punk and Roman are pretty much just asking him to choose. Maybe they give Paul a chair and they're like, Paul, you got to hit him or whatever. And Paul just drops the chair and he walks out. And then Seth is able to get the advantage. Something like that.
Yeah.
To where it leaves you like, oh, who would he pick? He turned his back on both of them, that sort of thing. I just don't see the pairing of Rollins and Heyman really working. Because like you said, Rollins doesn't need it. And I mean, Heyman doesn't need it. They're both established on their own. So it's just kind of like that would be extra to me.
Yeah, that it really wouldn't fit. I don't want him to.
Unless Paul comes out in like Shield gear.
Like, okay, Paul Heyman coming out behind Seth Rollins every night dressed in ridiculous attire. Mm-hmm. That might be a little fun.
They have matching attires every night.
That might be a little fun.
That sounds kind of cool.
He bickers with Becky Lynch backstage. I think it'd be funny. Anyway, those were the final questions going into WrestleMania 41. Let us know in the comments what you think all the answers are to these questions. And if you have some more, get some comments going in the comment section and get to talking because we love seeing it. But before we go, I do want to remind everybody that we will be having the Mania live stream this Saturday and Sunday, youtube.com/@CodWrestlePod. There will be a belt raffle where you can win this here undisputed championship title replica belt. And we'll have some other fun stuff that you can win as well throughout the 2 nights. So make sure to stop on by and insert into the belt raffle because it'll be a lot of fun. And for everything else, @CodWrestlePod, COD WrestlePod, YouTube, and wherever you get your podcasts, we have a link tree in our bio. It's got everything there. Go ahead, check it all out, subscribe, all that good stuff. Share the content. We'll see you for Mania season. I'm Will. That's Brandon. We're the Cousins of Destruction Wrestling Podcast. We will see you next time.